So yeah, fuck it. I guess I could tweet that I'm live. You want to watch me tweet while you want to watch me tweet that I'm live? Watch this chat. Oh my god, you're not gonna believe this. So what I do is I go to my profile. Wow. And then I go. Oh shit. Fuck it. I do this. And then I go. Ranking all the games we played in 2022. Right now. It's just that easy. That's how I do it. So welcome to the stream. I was gonna be like, my name is Aiden Iona, my pronouns are they, she, but like, I'm like, I don't think too many people that like don't watch my streams frequently are gonna watch this, so. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about video games today. So this is the old list. Today's list is this. This is roughly, I think, 29 games, I think? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 28, 29, yeah. We're gonna talk about like 30-something games. There are a few that I'm not gonna rank that I'm gonna talk about first. Beyond that, you know, this is what we're dealing with. This is last year's, just for reference, I guess. I don't know why I'm showing you this. So, we'll talk about the tiers, I guess, first. S is, like, my favorites of all time. Like, these are the die-hard favorites. Like, I love them. I don't necessarily say they're all flawless, but, like, you know, the ones that stay the nearest to my heart, I suppose, and are like also ones I guess I would recommend to other people. Like maybe, but mostly it's just like these are my favorites of all time. Crash 2, Crash Warp, Hades, and Specter of Torment definitely fit that mold. The A tier is like these are really good, solid fucking experiences that I really respect and appreciate, like Deltarune and Pokemon White and Time Spinner, obviously. Transistor, but like overall, like they're not like my favorites of all time in the end of the day, but like they're still fucking solid and I really enjoyed them. There's one thing I want to talk about that's kind of like an elephant in the room kind of thing for me personally. Last year I ranked a bunch of the Sonic fan games we played for Sonic Month 2021. I feel kind of shitty about it in hindsight. Because I didn't rank all of them, first of all. So second off, I also ranked only the ones that are, like... the ones I felt like, on their own, were finished enough, if that makes sense, to, like, compete with these other, like, big-budget titles. And I feel like that's unfair. Even though I ranked them in a positive light, like... looking back, like, comparing Neo Twoby to, like, Sonic Robo Blast 2 and, like, Sonic Smackdown, I feel stupid doing that. Like, I don't know if that's, like, a universal thing. I just personally feel dumb. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have done that in hindsight. So I rescind that. They're still great games. You should still play Sonic Robo Blast 2 and famous Robo Blast 2 mod, Sonic Robo Blast 2 cart, for sure. You should still play Super Sonic World, which I think now has a new version from the last time I played it. You should still play Sonic Smackdown. It's really cool. But, like, I don't know why I ranked them with all this other shit. Anyway. B tier is like, I really fucking liked it. I didn't, like, love the fuck out of it. But I really like it. Or it's like, I love it, but, like, it's a fucking crazy piece of shit. So, like, I'll recommend it, I suppose. Not too many of those are here, honestly. I think most of the B ones, though, like Celeste and Resident Evil 2 and, like... Neo Twoby are more just like, yeah, I really like it. It's not my favorite. It's good, though. C is just meh. C is just, like, not necessarily good or bad. Or, like, okay. It's more like, so Panzer Dragoon and Mega Man 11, right? Are more like, like, it's fine. Like, you know, that was a mid experience for me, personally. Like, I wouldn't tell people they're awful by any stretch, but I also, like, am not crazy about them myself. Oh, where's another? Whereas Dragon's Dogma and Pokemon Diamond are slightly more unique cases where there are a lot of things they get right that really resonate with me well, and then there's other shit that's like, why did you do this? Literally, what's wrong with you? So that shit also counts for D tier. Or, sorry, C tier. Holy shit, no, C tier. D tier is, like, slightly below that, where it's like, I don't think this is horrible fucking garbage, I just also wouldn't recommend it to a lot of people, and I didn't personally enjoy it very much. F is Garbo. F is Garbo tier. F is like, I would never recommend this to anybody, I don't have much desire to ever play it again, no thank you. That's F tier. So let's talk about some other shit real quick before we begin. There are a few games that we played in 2022 that I didn't forget about, but I want to talk about them first. Because, I don't know. I'm gonna turn this fucking giant light out, too, while I talk about it. Let's talk! Okay. I'm talking about Hades first. Hades I'm not gonna re-rank. Because there are some of these that I am gonna reassess. Hades is S tier. Like, Hades is just S tier. There's no reason to, like, if you've been watching my streams for a while, you know I fucking love Hades. It is one of my favorite games of all time. And we played it this year. We played it in 2021. Or we played it in 2022, played it in 2021, but like, and we're probably gonna play it again this year, I guarantee. At some point. At least once. But like, I feel like there's no reason to really discuss it anymore. It's a great game. Julia. You know what? I'm gonna come out as a Hades fan here. I'm sure a lot of you I haven't really talked to about it, but I'm like pretty into Hades. Lovers of Ether, I'm not gonna rank, but I'm not necessarily not recommending it. Like, I want to stress that, like, I'm not ranking these because they're bad. I just don't feel comfortable ranking them. Like, so Rivals of Ether is, like, you know, an indie Smash clone, and it's really fucking good, and I recommend it to everybody. Lovers of Ether is a free, dating sim, like, visual novel, made by Dan Fornace. It was made by a team of people that also worked on Rivals of Ether, and it's within that mythos, kind of. I think it's like parallel universe shit, technically. Obviously, they don't look the same and everything, but like, it's free. It's free. It was an April Fool's joke, but like, or a Valentine's Day joke, one or the other. I don't remember. We got 69, the creatine number. Lots of memorable moments, cool shit. But like, it's a free like April Fool's Day joke kind of thing, so I don't feel comfortable ranking it against other shit because it's kind of a joke in and of itself. Roar. We're not ranking Roar. I know that I usually say, like, if you've played an hour of a game, you have a succinct opinion on it, probably. Very few exceptions to that rule. In the case of Roar, though, Tanner and I... Well, Tanner didn't really play it with me. He was just there talking to me while I played it. He was just watching me play. But I didn't really, like... I didn't get super far. I don't think I even got past, like, the first level. So I'm not gonna rank it, just because I don't think I have a solid enough opinion on it yet. We're not ranking... There's only one more we talked about. Yep. Hexologic. For those who don't remember Hexologic, let's see if I can even find it on here. It's not a super well-known game, I don't think. I mean, you can go buy it. I'm not recommending it. It's a very chill time. It does what it sets out to do. It's a very interesting puzzle game. It's just not for me. And I'm probably never coming back to it. But, like, it's fine. It's a cool game. I just don't feel comfortable recommending it, because it's kind of just, like, a silly little mobile game. In comparison to, like, shit like Hades, and, like, other Supergiant games, and, like, you know, like, Digimon and Pokemon shit. So, like, I think we're ranking, what, 2 or 3 Pokemon games for this year's ranking? 3 Pokemon games. So, without further ado, let's begin. That's pretty much all I had to talk about beforehand. I guess one more thing to stress if I didn't make it clear. This isn't like I'm the objectively right opinion here. It's just like, this is kind of just how I personally feel about them. Because there's some of these things, like Sonic Adventure 2, just fair warning, I'm going to talk up that game. I know it's a piece of shit. I know it's a dumb, fucking stupid game, but I really enjoy it. So I'm going to talk it up and probably put it in a pretty high ranking. So just be ready for that. Right now I have these all organized by chronological order of when we actually played them in 2022. Except 3DS I moved up here. Smash for 3DS would have been like closer to here, but I moved it to here because we're just going to talk about all the Smash games because we played them all last year. Technically I didn't play it until like later this year, or later this past year, but we'll just put it in with the rest of Smash games when I talk about them. Alright. Pyre. Pyre. Let's see if it even brings it up. It does, cool. Pyre is a fucking awesome game. It is a visual novel, but it has like an NBA Jam like minigame combat thing going on. Most of it you go through a caravan and just like talk to a bunch of different people and characters of different races and all kinds of things. It is one of the best executions of its idea, which is basically mix NBA Jam with a visual novel and like with RPG elements kind of thing that I've ever seen. It technically has 3 main endings, but like you could argue because the character ties are so fucking prominent and important that it really is like, it really has like tens of thousands, I think, of like actual like permutations of endings. There are 3 like main outcomes, I guess, but like the actual amount of endings and like the epilogues to all those characters are completely dependent on your decisions. And here's one of the coolest things about Pyre as well. Its main gimmick isn't even the fact that it's a visual novel with NBA Jam combat. The main gimmick of Pyre is... Actually, you know what we could do? If it doesn't tank the stream, I could just pull up my VODs and like just have the sound off. Would that be cool? Is that a thing we should do? Because like... There it is. There's gameplay of the game. Just put it wherever the fuck. It won't really be like super spoiler territory as long as I keep it on like part 1 of each playthrough. Yeah, that's fine, I think. I don't think they'll tank the stream or anything. It'll be weird having 2 of me talking at the same time, but whatever. That's Pyre. Pyre doesn't have an actual technical game over. You just continue doing things. You just continue on your journey, and that's it. It's fucking amazing. And, like, you don't... I can't stress enough how important, like, the characters are and the character dialogue. And, like, you might be thinking, that sounds really boring. That's, like, not even a step above dating sim. I swear to God, I'm not usually into this sort of thing either. But Greg Kasavin is such a good fucking writer. And, like, the world just sucks you the fuck in. And, like... It really humanizes, like, a lot of the villains, but not in a dumb MCU way, where it's just like, my father used to hit me, so that's why I want to fucking blow up the nuclear bombs on the fucking Earth. Like, it's not shit like that. It's not a big blue laser in the sky. Like, all of everything that happens is important because of the characters around you, and you can directly influence how those relations go. It's so fucking good. Also, I didn't realize this until after I've already beaten the game. You can pick in the options menu at any time during your playthrough whether or not you want your character to be referred to with he, him, they, them, or she, her pronouns. Which is a step in the right direction that I did not expect from the game. I complained about being misgendered the entire playthrough as a joke, and then I realized right at the end, like, oh, you don't have to be misgendered the whole time though. I'm gonna put it in A. It's not one of my favorite games of all time, but like I said, like it's the best. It is the best at what it does. Like, duh, right? Because there's no other game like it. But like that's a reason in itself to fucking play it. Play Pyre. It's so fucking good. Like, you don't understand. I'm gonna move the mic around. Is that okay? I've never done that on stream before. Oh, unlock, you son of a bitch. There we go. I won't be hunched over, my voice won't sound as bad. As bad. Alright, Super Smash Brothers. Let's talk about Super Smash Brothers. I already love these games. Most people that have been watching my streams or have known me for a while know I love Super Smash Brothers games. Easily one of my favorite, game franchises of all time. If not my favorite Nintendo franchise, maybe. Maybe even my favorite franchise of all time. It's, this is not Super Smash Bros. 64. Where is that? Here, there's footage of us doing that, I guess. I don't know, it's just really good. It's just fun. Like, this thing still feels good, like, in multiplayer after the fact. There's a lot of interesting things about it to look into after the fact, especially, like, its history and, like, how they ended up making it and what was gonna be in the game and all this other stuff. Considering what we got out of it, this game's kind of, like, a marvel for its time. Not as much as Melee in comparison, but, like, quite a bit. Like, there was literally no- yeah, the thing you have to understand about this game in particular is that there was literally nothing fucking like this. I love the aesthetic. I love that everything is dolls. It's fucking amazing. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's one of my favorite games I have on Nintendo 64 in my library, but, like, that doesn't inherently make it one of my favorite games of all time. The only problem, too, that keeps it from S tier, I think, is probably the fact that, like, there's not much single-player meat to it. Like, you can get high scores in, like, the bonus games and stuff. You can do classic mode very hard. You can keep increasing scores on stuff. But for the most part, like, it's pretty much just, like, a multiplayer game. Once you unlock the 4 hidden characters and the hidden stage, you're pretty much done with the game. And there's nothing really to do. Which, for 1999, which I think is the year that came out, was really fucking... That was it. Because that was the point of the game, is to go get it or rent it from Blockbuster and then come play it with your friends. But, like, by today's standards, eh. So I put an A. Melee, I'm gonna put an S. It's one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. I'm not very good at it, but that's just more of a testament to how fucking good I think it is. It's so fucking good. In comparison to Smash 64, I was just thinking about this the other day too. It's so fucking weird how... Like I said, like, Smash 64 was in development for a bit, but I think it came out in, like, 99. Melee came out in, like, 2001. This was, like, I think nearly a launch title for the GameCube. It looks beautiful. Like, look at that shit. I didn't do anything to that. That's not Dolphin. That's not emulated. That is the hardware. It's upscaled, but, like, it still looks fucking good. The models look good. The particle effects look fucking magical. Everything about this game is, like, fucking near perfect. Except when you start getting into the competitive shit. And even then, it's fun for people who do that shit because of the imperfections and the technicalities of it. It's beautiful. It's a great game casually. It's a great game to play with your friends. It's a great game to play alone while you're waiting for another day to go play it with your friends. And it's great competitive. It's like, it's the perfect game of this fucking, like, genre. Perfect. Perfect. It's perfect. Even, like, the really hard event mode shit, it's, like, I think it's set up really well in a way to, like, make sure you're getting better at it over time. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. That's an S tier. That's an easy S tier. Brawl is gonna be a kind of a weird one probably for people. Where's Brawl? Here's Brawl. So here's Brawl. Brawl is probably the most shat-on game in the franchise, which I think is bullshit for many reasons. It's fun. Here's the thing. Tripping sucks. Yes. There's issues with it. It's floatier than Melee. It's not as tight as Melee. You could argue a bunch of other shit that's, like, quote-unquote wrong with this game, right? Masahiro Sakurai himself, the director of Super Smash Bros., every game in the franchise, he never wanted it to be a competitive experience. Like, there are things in Ultimate that he did to make it cater to those people that enjoy that aspect of the game, and I think possibly the same with Wii U, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, with these 3 games, part of the reason people hate Brawl are the same reasons Sakurai loved it and was so passionate about making it. Because I think he even cited in interviews, like, he wanted it to be kind of more like Mario Kart, in the sense of, like, just goofy, like, fucking RNG shit happens and can turn the tide of battle. But in the case of Super Smash Brothers, you can turn that around with skill, more or less. So it's fun for everybody. You can be a noob, you can be the best at it in the world, and you still have a fighting chance. It's beautiful. I still think it's fun. Every time I go to revisit it, I have a pretty good time, so, there is still issues with it. Like, if people said, hey, let's go play one of the Smash games, come over and do that real quick, I might dish this one out as, like, a joke, like, as a goof, and we might play it for, like, an hour or two, but, like, then we're gonna want to play fucking, you know, Melee, or maybe even 64, or probably Ultimate. So, I'm gonna put it in B, because, I'm not stupid, like, I realize the issues with it, but, like, I think calling it a bad game is not hypercritical enough. But that's me, you know? Like, that's just me. I was the point of this list. It's not that I'm right. It's that, I don't know. I don't actually know what the point of this is. I don't know why I do this. Anyway. Smash for 3DS. Actually, I guess that would be in the next Blight, wouldn't it? Wow. This is Wii U, so here's the 3DS one. Alright, Smash for 3DS. I got opinions on this one, chat. Here's the thing. I like this game. I liked it more revisiting it than I thought I would, but to be blunt, one of the things I hate about this game and the Wii U game is that, like, it's obsolete now. Like, there's more of a novelty to playing this one, because it's the only handheld one, I guess. Well, technically, Ultimate's handheld too, I guess. Like, I mean, even by that logic, like, literally, there's nothing in these 2 games other than Smash Run and Smash Board that you can do that, like, you can't do in Ultimate, basically. Like, Melee and Brawl and Smash 64 all have their own unique aesthetics. They all feel a certain way that, like, still feels good to this day, even if it's, like, kind of dorky in the case of, like, Brawl. Or it's definitely, like, flawed, like Melee. Or it's just fucking, like, bare bones in comparison kind of experience, like Smash 64. And it's supposed to be, like, more arcadey, I guess. At least those have something going for it that, like, there's a reason to come back, right? With these games, it's like, other than Smash Run and Smash Board, I literally can't think of anything else. Like, custom fighters, I guess, but, like, that's not even that fun for that long, especially now, like, this is the current one anymore. I honestly don't think I ever fought with the custom fighters with anybody. With anyone ever once. I think it was all AI when I did that. Anyway. At the same time, I don't think it's, like, fucking horrible. I really don't. I would argue it's the worst in the series, just because I personally feel that Smash 3DS, for the most part, Nintendo just wanted it to be an ad for the Wii U one. I think Sakurai tried his hardest to make it different, but you can only do so much. Whoops, what did I just do? Oh, okay. So I'm gonna put it in B. Because it's still fun. Like, I still enjoy it. But it's like a low B, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of whatever. Let's talk about the Wii U one now. There we go. So Smash for Wii U. Definitely not as good as the other ones. Like I said, 3DS at least has, like, a perk, you know? Of, like, oh, cool, you can play this on your 3DS, or, like, oh, let's go back and see what the 3DS one's like. This one doesn't really have anything. Like, literally, like, I really, really, really like the idea of Smash Board. Which, for those who don't even remember what that is or didn't play this one, it's Monopoly, but instead of properties, it's fighters. Which I think is fucking an amazing idea. But oh well. Fuck it. This is what we got. Like, by today's standards, this is just worse Ultimate. I hate it. It has, like, no personality. Like, it did some things that are good for the franchise, like, but, like, I'd rather have something with a fucking personality, like Brawl. Like, Brawl is oozing with personality. It's fucking stupid, but that's why it's fun. 3DS and Wii U were, like, they're fun because they're still Super Smash Brothers, but they're not, like, amazing. And, like, I need to stress, too, this is, like, probably my most played game on my Wii U. But, like, I just feel mid about it. I might move 3DS to Wii U to C, actually. C tier. You know what? Okay, this is still in B because it has Smash Run. Wii U has, like, nothing. There's nothing going on for Wii U. And then Ultimate, I think is the only one we have not talked about yet. Is that 3DS again? Oh yeah, that is 3DS, because I did Pikachu Blight, prologue, I guess. Anyway, so this is Ultimate. This is probably gonna go in S tier. I'm debating whether I want it in S tier or A tier, because although Ultimate does kind of sort of have a personality, it's still like, it just feels very clean. Like, it feels like it's just the modern Super Smash Brothers, which is good in some ways and bad in others. It's good in the sense that they brought everybody back. They did a lot of cool shit for online and multiplayer lobbies, and like even local multiplayer shit. Like the, I don't know. Like, look at this. Like, it has a cohesive design and feeling, but it just feels like Nintendo. It feels like Nintendo in the mall. Like, it's whatever. Like, it is clean, it is serviceable, everything looks good, the graphics and the assets look very pretty, but, like, they don't have, like, a style. Like, there's no, like, personality. There's nothing unique about it that, like, stands out. And I feel like, in my opinion, you have to go one way or the other. Like, one of the things I admire about PlayStation All-Stars, which is a shitty game, but, like, I appreciate it still to this day, if only because, like, if they didn't do this, like, all the characters, they got with the developers of those previous old games, and, like, interviewed them and made sure, like, their movesets would, like, match, like, how it was in the game, in the original games. So, while still being a Smash clone, it could feel as much like the original games those characters come from as possible. On top of that, they just look like the models in the game, pretty much. Like, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale doesn't have its own set personality other than corporate greed, but it's also really funny because it's just a crossover game where they didn't bother making anyone look like they're part of a video game experience. They just all look like they're modded in, and I think that's fucking funny. This game doesn't really have either. It's just very clean and done and whatever. It's whatever. In comparison, and this is of course just some personality. Gameplay-wise, a lot of people have argued this is just objectively the best Smash game. I wouldn't say objectively that's correct, but, like, I would say I can see where they're coming from. It rivals Melee. For me personally, as an experience, as a game, and as a product, I still think Melee is better. But in terms of, like, what would I change? Not a lot. I would change the single-player mode a lot. Like, a new subspace would have been nice, but, like, I get it. I get why they didn't do that. But replacing it with World of Light was not the way to fucking go. I don't like World of Light that much. It has really cool ideas, but in my opinion, it starts feeling like a mobile game after, like, an hour. And because of that, like, there's a lot of classic mode shit that, like, just... How do I explain this? There's a lot of classic mode shit that's, like, really cool with Ultimate. Like, there's so much stuff that went into it that, like, even if it lacks a personality, it's clear that they still cared. And that's a very rare occurrence in video games, I feel like. For it to be one or the other versus both or none. So I'm debating, I don't know if that's like a low S or a high A. Because here's the thing. I played the fuck out of this game. when it was fairly new. And then I picked it up every once in a while when a new character would come out. But, like, when I go to revisit this game again, I just fuck around with, like, Sora or Violet and just go do stupid shit. Or, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you don't play this game with your friends often, or you aren't in the tournament scene, or you don't really love World of Light, a lot of this game weirdly loses its luster, like, fairly quickly. Oh, I also don't like the fact that the characters were random unlocks. And that there's, like, no reward for actually doing it. It's just continue playing the game. And then you just get everything. Which isn't a terrible way of doing it. Just, I don't know. Just doesn't feel rewarding as much. I'm gonna put it in S. But, like, this is less of a testament to, like, I'm just putting it up there because it's a popular game. I don't really do that shit. I'm putting it up there as, like, low S. The reason I'm putting it up there, though, I think mainly is just that's how good I think the, like, actual gameplay of this is, and how well it did in another one of Masahiro Sakurai's visions for the series, which was just to continuously be a museum of a bunch of different video game history points. And I think Ultimate, if Ultimate does nothing else, I'd say that is one thing that it definitely does well. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. I liked this way more than I thought it would. It took up a lot of early 2022. I played it a little bit at my friend's house first. She was playing a little bit of, or her apartment, rather. She, was playing Year of the Dragon. And we kind of just spent a few hours just, like, passing the controller back and forth and playing through a bunch of this shit, revisiting this stuff. Because Spyro on PS1 was both a big deal, but, like, both of us, we both grew up with it. Like, we didn't know each other yet, but we both grew up with it. And when we started getting to know each other more and hanging out, we would talk about, like, old video games and shit, and how much we liked Spyro. So, like, as much as sappy as this is, it's less so that I have nostalgia for Spyro. I think it actually is, like, just because there are some video games, like Persona 5, for example, that I associate with bad memories, but, like, getting through them via that game's experience. And I feel like Persona 5 is, like, not a great game overall for your mental health, but it is a good distraction from a lot of pain. Or it can be, depending on the circumstance. And I was going through a real rough patch with my ex-abuser, who I would not realize was performing abusive behavior at that time. And then I bought Persona 5 and played through it. That's a good game for just being reclusive, I guess. But with Spyro, I remember good things. Like, and with Reignited Trilogy, it just kind of is a different flavor of that. And I like what it is. I like what's there. In terms of... And by the way, I'm not ranking all three of the games separately. I'm just ranking it all as one big collection, because I think that's what Toys for Bob wants it to be. They're all made in an engine from the ground up anyway, so, like, I'm not going to say, oh, they're the same game, because clearly they're not. But, like, look how beautiful that looks. That did not look that good on PS1. I don't think even, like, for the most part, I would just say it's different. I would consider them graphical updates, not upgrades, if that makes sense. Because they definitely look good in their own right. Like, this is a good modern rendition of those games. I was really skeptical. The reason I didn't buy this game for so long was because I played Insane Trilogy at my same friend's well, I used to live with this friend, and I lived with her fiance now, before they were engaged. And, you know, he'd be like, yeah, go play my PS4 whenever, and you can play Crash. And I played Crash Insane Trilogy. I beat every game on it. Like, in pieces. The only thing, in my opinion, that Insane Trilogy did well was make Crash 1 playable for a casual audience. In my opinion, that's literally fucking it. I wouldn't be as dramatic to say they completely ruined Crash 2 and Crash Warped, but saying that they ruined Crash 2 and Crash Warped is not, like, completely baseless, in my opinion. It's, So I was really skeptical about this, because I hate Activision. This was before the merger. And I was like, oh no, I saw this coming. They're gonna do it with Spyro 2, and it's gonna suck. And it's gonna suck more, in my opinion, or at least that's what I thought at the time, because of how they butchered Crash 2 and 3, in my opinion. I still stand by that for Insane Trilogy. For Reignited Trilogy, for Spyro, this fucking rules. I personally don't consider it better, but I can see arguments for that. It is a solid fucking remake. They also took out a lot of problematic shit that honestly I forgot about, and it doesn't feel jarring that they took that shit out. And in all honesty, like, I really like the trilogy, and I like what they did with it. The additions they made to it, for the most part, didn't feel far-fetched. There are definitely things I still prefer with the PS1 version, but overall, like, I'm gonna put that shit at S. Because, like, every time... I was going through a huge mental health spiel, too, like, in 2022. Because, like... I just wasn't... I was going through a rough patch with a friend of mine, and we're no longer friends anymore. And that was kind of the big thing, was it was falling out of that. And I was going in and out of streaming, because I was just like, I don't want to start breaking down crying on stream. I was a fucking mess for, like, pretty much the entirety of, like, February. And, like, a lot of March. And when I was able to come back and stream, I just wanted to play this. I just wanted to stream this. And I was happier for it. This is just a pre-screen. This isn't even the game. This is the pre-screen. Anyway, I don't know. There's not much else I really have to say about it, I guess, right now, that I can think of. But, I guess if I had to recommend one to people, I'd recommend the PS1 trilogy more. But the Reignited trilogy is more accessible at this point. I'd say you're not really doing yourself a disservice by playing the Reignited trilogy first. Most of the things I prefer about the first game, honestly, are kind of just, like, a lot of the models, I think, look better. The character designs look better, for the most part. I like what they did with Allura in this game. I like what they did with Bianca. I think Bianca looks okay, and I think Spyro looks really good in this. I don't like what they did with Sparks too much, but it grew on me. I don't, like, hate it now. I don't like what they did with Hunter. The dragons, like, that you save in Spyro 1 looks so fucking cool. I'm so glad they did what they did with those. It's so fucking cool to, like, save all the dragons in that game now. Anyway. Yeah, S tier. Wandersong. We'll come back to that sometime this year, probably, and then I'll reassess this later. Wandersong is an independent RPG. Where's that? Oh, here we go. It's in here somewhere. Wandersong, there you are. It's kind of like an adventure game, I guess, like a side-scrolling adventure game. Its thing is that it's all, like, looks like cutouts and stuff. It's kind of Paper Mario inspired, I think. You play as a bard, and you sing. It's like your main weapon of choice, I guess, but it doesn't really, like, hurt most enemies. It's more, like, puzzly, I guess, but not, like, in a way that of, like, Portal. It's hard to explain, but it's a really cute game. Very impressive for how small a team. I think they're, like, the whole team pretty much is, like, 3 people that made the game itself. As you can see, visually, it's very impressive, if nothing else. Weirdly quick to get used to, considering how unconventional the controls are. My main thing is that although I find it incredibly impressive, I guess the game's just not for me overall. And that's part of why I've been putting it off for so long. I want to beat it, though, this year. It probably will take, like, 1 or 2 more streams to do so. I'm gonna put it in B. But, hey, maybe next year we'll reassess that, and it'll be higher. But for now, like, I definitely don't feel lukewarm about it. And I definitely would recommend it to other people that are looking for that kind of experience. But I don't like it enough to put an A. Oh, fuck. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. This was kind of on a whim during, like, Sonic Month of 2022. I wanted to play an official Sonic game at the end of it, because I normally just play fan games during Sonic Month. And I was torn between 4 games, and I remember picking this one as kind of on a whim, because I think... Did I put it up to a poll? I don't remember what the fuck I did. I think I put it up to a poll, maybe, and, like, 2 of them tied or some shit. Or I just decided in my brain between, like, 2 things, and nobody really, like, had any input one way or another of which one they'd rather see. As it just happened to be this one. I had way more fun with it than I expected. Like, I've played it before. I played it when it was new. But I didn't expect to return to the campaign mode and be wowed. But, like, I love the visuals. I think it looks good for Wii. It's fine. The music is fucking amazing. The gameplay, I won't say is better than Riders objectively, but, like, it's better in the sense that, like, someone can just come over and you can play it. There's a learning curve for sure. It's not going to be as good as you right away, but, like, what racing game has that effect on people, right? Whereas, like, with Sonic Riders 1, it's, like, fucking Da Vinci Code for anyone above the age of 18 who didn't, like, play this way too much when they were a kid. Like, I can't even barely explain to people how to play Sonic Riders. I've heard some people say that Sonic Riders Zero Gravity is more complicated because of the gravity mechanic. I think that's complete bullshit. I think it's way easier to figure out this game than it is Riders 1. Also the multiplayer. We didn't fucking multiplayer on stream, but the multiplayer is fun. I'd give it a solid B. I don't love it enough to put it in A. It's definitely not an S tier. But, you know, like I said, I had more fun with it than I thought I would, and I have fond memories of it now, because I made, one of my favorite videos, Sonic Boyfriend Zero Gravy, on Randomrings Channel. That's like maybe my favorite video I've ever made, is Sonic Boyfriend Zero Gravy. And it just came from, like, an impromptu stream that I just decided to pull out of my ass. Oh god, Pokemon SoulSilver. Oh god. Pokemon SoulSilver. Where is this? Oh, this is part 1. This is the beginning of the playthrough. Interesting. So it probably goes without saying, I'm a pretty big Pokemon fan. This was awesome. This is my first time playing the game. I'd never played SoulSilver. I've been a huge Pokemon fan since I was, like, a little kid. I think Red and Blue came to the States when I was, like, 5-ish. And my family got together, because back then we all thought they were different games, like the different versions. We thought that they were different games. So my parents pitched in money to get me Red and Blue version. And then later I got Yellow somehow. Because I thought it was going to be a different experience altogether, but it really isn't. It's pretty much the same game. Yeah. This is a good remake overall. The thing is, though, there's a lot of shit in Gold, Silver, and Crystal that's just beautiful on its own. And Heart Gold and SoulSilver, I don't think captured it. I really don't think it did. Like, I think there's criticism to be made about a lot of the visual shit and just, like, overall aesthetics and presentation. But more importantly, it's in Gen 4 engine. Like, they didn't need to add rock climb. They didn't need to do all that fucking shit. Like, there's so much shit that, like, for its time, I get why it was a big deal. In comparison, like, now, you gotta have a story to hold up. And that was part of my problem with Diamond, was I was just like, it's just okay. This is the most, like, middling Pokemon experience you can have, is Diamond. Like, SoulSilver is, like, definitely better than that, don't get me wrong. Like, but the thing is, like, it's all the bullshit of Diamond. But if you put it in a better story, with a better plot, and more interesting characters, and a way better post-game reward system of you can go through an entire new region and fight all the people from the first game, like, and in this version they added shit, other shit, because in the timeline, the Hoenn story happens at the same time the Kanto story happens. So SoulSilver has, like, Steven and a bunch of other characters in it that were in Ruby and Sapphire, because that's the past in SoulSilver. So yeah, like, overall, like, it's just, like, it's a Sign of the Times DS version of one of the greatest RPGs ever made. But as such, I feel like there's just, like, color palette-wise and much other shit, I feel like it just lost a lot of the soul. It feels like it just had to exist because it was a thing they, like, Nintendo wanted. And I personally find that sad. I've said this before, too. I've said this before. But I'll say it again, god damn it. It's not loading, that's concerning. That's concerning. Experience interruptions? Absolutely. Find out why. It's Spectrum, fuck you. I know why. I don't know why, this sucks. Anyway. Yeah, my brain just fucking stopped for a second. I don't know, it's really good. The soundtrack is incredible to SoulSilver, but, like, the thing you have to realize about Gold, Silver, and Crystal is that it literally is one of the best and most innovative RPGs, not just Pokemon games, RPGs, like, of all time. There's so much shit that game did that was, like, unheard of at the time, and on top of that, you basically have the entire first game retold within that cartridge. Like, even, like, not even, like, past the hardware level, everything they did with the software, everything they did is, like, an experience. It was unbelievable. And I feel like just kind of sort of, like, upgrading that, for lack of a better term, to the DS is just, like, it doesn't objectively make it better. I don't think it did. I wouldn't consider it an objective improvement. Like, overall as an experience, and as a Pokemon game, I don't think it's an objective improvement. So here's the thing, and I've thought about this. I'm going to put it in A instead of S. And here's why. Because Pokemon White is an A, and Pokemon White, as much as it's gonna piss people off, I think I like Pokemon White a little more, if only for one reason. If only because it stands on its own laurels, as its own experience, as its own fun little romp. Hang on a second, I'll turn this off. I still have my Friend Meister on from yesterday's stream. And I feel like if I'm gonna put Pokemon White in A, with, like, all the faults and shit that it has, then I gotta put SoulSilver in A. Also, having it be upgraded, but still have a lot of the shit that, like, gatekept you from doing certain things in Silver, and then adding another HM was also a terrible fucking idea. They should have, like, just taken that out and made it an even more unique, like, way to experience that story, but they didn't. Okay. I knew I was gonna talk about that one for a long time. Because, like, I feel like I really had to clarify that I'm not gonna put it in S, and, like, why, you know? Good series to start. I was gonna say that Fall Guys was on here. Okay. It's really going through it today. I don't know what's up with that. I haven't dropped any frames on the stream or anything. Very weird. Anyway, Fall Guys. I did not get on the original train of Fall Guys. I got into it after Epic's dumbass bought it. I have not spent a cent on Fall Guys, and I probably never will. I can't even handle 480p? What the fuck? What's happening? I've done streams where we just, like, watch videos and shit before. What's the problem? It's gonna draw my stream eventually. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. It's not, like, storming or anything. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, Fall Guys. I like Fall Guys because it is just a competitive kind of battle royale experience, but you don't have to be good at shooters. You can be good at baby platformers. And guess what? Most of my favorite games are baby platformers. However, I don't like the business model of it. I don't there's a lot of things I don't particularly like about it. Like, it's a fun game though, but like it's one of those games that I personally feel like, are we gonna do custom lobbies of this later in life? Like, in 2032, are we still gonna be playing this game? And I really, truly don't think we will be. And I don't want to even think about the state it's going to be in after that point, once Epic is done absorbing money through it. So I'm gonna put it in B, because I definitely would be lying to you all if I put it in C, because that's like, oh, I feel mad about it. But, yeah, I don't feel strongly enough about it to put it in A. I really like it, it's very fun, but not enough for A tier. At best, like a high B, I think is fair. Anyway. Where's that shitty fucking game? There's already a good start to that. Now we get to talk about Multiversus. Remember Multiversus? Have you already forgotten about Multiversus? It's not even a year old. It's not even a year old. You already forgot about Multiversus? Because some days I do. Multiversus is a Smash clone sanctioned by Warner Brothers. It's not just a Cartoon Network Smash clone like they've done in the past either. It has Cartoon Network characters. It's got Iron Giant for some reason. It's got... Well, now it has Gremlins in it. I didn't play it when it had Gremlin stuff in it, but now it has Gremlin stuff. LeBron James' Space Jam model. It's got Scooby-Doo characters. It's got What's-Her-Fuck from Game of Thrones, who's actually really fun to play as, in relativity to the rest of the game. Like most Smash clones, except for, like, Rivals, there's always a catch. There's always a fucking catch of, like, why isn't this the most rad thing? How do you fuck up? Oh, we just have a bunch of Warner Brothers property characters fighting each other. That sounds like a rad, fun time. Everybody has, like, 5 recovery things. Like, so one of the main things that makes the percentage-based damage system in Smash work so well is completely nullified, first of all. So what that means is you either have to get them in a, like, really unlucky spot, Meteor Smash them hard enough, because even a Meteor Smash is not, like, a 100% guarantee to kill. Or you pretty much just have to do enough damage to them to knock them off the side or up the top. It takes so fucking long, you have to pummel so fucking much. You have to bruise them so hard before you can knock them out. Arya Stark, that's her name. It's just so much wasted potential. Here's the thing, too. You have to spend a lot of time to actually unlock the characters, and they expect you, I think, to pay money to get more points so you can do that. I think if you just play it locally with your friends, you can have all the characters unlocked, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But yeah, after this session we did for us on stream, I never played it again. I never played it again. I couldn't bring myself to do it. It's just not that fun. It's better than a lot of Smash clones like this, but, like, I don't have much desire to ever do it again. I'm gonna put it in D tier. I'm gonna put it in D. Okay, or Sleepy Wash. Where is Sleepy Wash? Lesbian Keep, Bastion, stuff I reference. Sleepy Wash. There you are. Sleepy Wash started getting dark towards the end. Truth be told. PowerWash Simulator. Let's talk about PowerWash Simulator. It's pretty much what it sounds and looks like. It has a story connected that brings you along, so your jobs that you continue doing throughout the campaign make sense. But I think it's mostly made to be a co-op multiplayer experience with a bunch of your friends. Which I did not do. I played it with Sat twice. So... I don't know. Maybe my vision on it is skewed. There's also some problematic shit. There's the whole, like, weird, like, caravan stage that has a bunch of anti-Romany shit in it. Pretty blatantly racist. And here's the other thing, too, is that it's one of those games that is set in the modern day when it was released, but I think it was, like, 2020, 2021. And it's trying to be topical, but not saying anything, and that pisses me off. Like, for example, there's, like, the crypto joke. There's a bunch of other shit in it like that, where it's just like, LOL, but this thing, right? LOL, poggers. And it's like, but like, it's not really saying anything. It's not really doing, what's the word I'm looking for? Satire. Like, as much as I think that it thinks it does. It's kind of just saying a bunch of buzzword shit to continue to be kind of funny and relevant. And it doesn't really work for me. Because, like, again, future-proof that. Is this going to work later? No. But that could work for something that's like an online-only game. You know, that kind of humor could work for something that's topical now. But it's not. It's PowerWash Simulator. Like, it's stupid. Also, by yourself, a lot of the stages are like a huge fucking chore towards the end to even beat. I mean, what else do I even say? I think I'm gonna put it in C. I would put it in B if it weren't slightly racist. But I'd also be lying if I said I didn't enjoy myself. I don't highly recommend it to people though. I honestly don't. Alright. What am I looking at again? Super Mario Sunshine. Are we already almost done? No, we're like halfway there. Okay. I was like, how are we almost done already? Well, since we're at that point, actually, I know this is funny to do. I've been streaming for an hour, but I drank a lot of fucking liquid. Like, I came home, went to the bathroom, long story short, started making fries, and then pretty much just went live. So, like, I need to pee. So I'm gonna put on the BRB screen. I was expecting to just do this in one go. That was naive of me, huh? Do you mind? There we go. So I'm gonna put on the BRB screen, and I will be back after these silly little messages. You wanna like unpause? There we go. Song's good and all, but I'm gonna skip it. Ooh, Final Fantasy 6. Hi, Wuffle! How's it going, bud? I'm being a cynical bitch and talking about video games we played. This is last year's tier maker. This is 2021. This is a collective of 2020, 2021. This is this year's. We're like halfway done. Halfway done. I don't think I said this earlier. I might stream something after the fact, depending on how my voice feels after the fact, because this is a lot of interrupted. You don't realize, like, I don't realize how much I'm not that bad on my voice while I'm playing a video game until I do a stream like this, where it's like 99% me talking. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is like not good for you. Alright. Super Mario Sunshine. So we actually ranked this in 2022. Because we played it in 2021. Or, sorry, we played it in 2020. This is one of the first games we ever played. For those unfamiliar, Streamiversary I do every year in September. September 22nd is the day we played this. And that's also, we had, well, Tanner wasn't in call, but we had the OG stream crew. I always call them the OG Randomrings stream crew. Is, Tanner, Taylor, Brad, and Sat. Sat was there for, like, the last, like, hour and a half or two, I think. Brad was there almost the whole time, and Taylor was there for the first, like, 2 hours. And if pretty soon, by the way, share my stream with your friends, because we're coming up. We're on 90 followers now. We're at 90 followers, fam. Fam. I'm gonna do something for 100. I don't know, no one though. Oh Lord. Anyway, so I put it in B, and I'm gonna reassess it because I've actually beaten the game on stream. So let's pull up some footage. Where the fuck are? Oh yeah, it's not in that one anymore. It's gotta be somewhere. Oh my god. There we go. Super Mario Sunshine, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So I'm gonna pull up a different thing of it actually. I don't despise Sunshine, but I've been recommended. I think a lot of it was kind of like, I don't want to say sunk cost fallacy. That's not accurate. It wasn't like, so some of my favorite games of all time are like Super Mario 64, Super Mario 64 DS, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2. And I played this game a little bit at my friend's house, and it was just like the big manta ray level. So like, I didn't hate it because of that. I was just like, oh, okay, this is Sunshine. Yeah, this was cool. And I never really actually played it for myself until 2020, and then played it on stream, and then I played a little bit off stream, and then never played it again. So 2022, I was like, let's just play this from beginning to end. Let's just beat the fuck game on stream. And I'm surprised by how much I really don't like it. It is one of my least favorite 3D Mario platformers. And it's no secret to anybody who's like played the game before that it's like kind of jank. That doesn't throw me that much. It's the fact that I feel like the level designs are like, a lot of it's like more designed for like a big like open thing. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't feel good to play. Like controlling FLUDD is fucking awkward. The controls are fucking weird as shit. I feel like, because I praised this game for being weird, though, and I think that's why I still like it more than, like, Super Mario 3D World, because it's just weird. Like, the fact that this exists in the time frame that it came out as well is weird. Like, it's fucked up that it exists. Whereas, like, as cynical as this is gonna sound, like, something like 3D World, I'm not saying 3D World exactly, but, like, something like 3D World was, like, inevitable. Like, Nintendo was going to do that. It was the direction they were going in as a company, as a business, as a corporation. Sunshine was, like, why? Like, why does this fucking exist? It's cool in that regard, but there's so many things that get in the way. I feel like there's weird shit that they rely on that doesn't make any sense. Like, first off, figuring it out is weird. Second off, after you figure it out, it's uncomfortable to do. One of the ones that come to mind as an example is the one where you have to get a certain fruit with Yoshi to do the juice thing. Nothing in the game up until that point requires you to do it or to know that the different juices do anything. It's just kind of a thing Yoshi spits out for a while. And then you have to do it to beat the mission. But the real sin of that mission isn't that. The worst part is that you have to spit the fruit out of a thing that RNG's fruit. The other fruits don't do anything. You only need one specific fruit to do it. It doesn't make fucking sense. And there's just a lot of shit like that. Like, you know, Pachinko is obviously like the meme one that's like, you know, oh, everybody hates this, it's so bad. And I mean, like, beyond that, I don't know, the soundtrack's good. I like that it's all just set in like a beach setting. It's fun, it's whimsical, but like, just gameplay-wise, it's so fucking awkward. Which I don't think I would mind as much if it were a shorter experience, but unless you're already used to the game's bullshit, it's not that short. On top of that, you have to almost complete the game. You have to get pretty much almost every single shine to get to the ending, to get to the Bowser fight. And the Bowser fight's not even that cool. I don't know. I'm still shocked by how much I didn't end up liking this game. I'm gonna put it in... Here's the thing. I don't want to put it in B anymore. I'm gonna actually downgrade it. It was in B. I'm gonna put it down now. I don't want to put it in F. That feels like too angry to put it in F. I don't feel F about it. Do I want C or D? Because C is like the meh tier. But the thing is with Sunshine is like, I don't think I ever want to play it again. I don't know. I kind of want to put it in D. You know what? Okay. I slightly base these rankings on like what I recommended to other people. And I think for this game in particular, there is a niche of people that's pretty large and like maybe not even niche that I would recommend it to. At the same time, this is mostly based on just how I personally feel about it. I think I'm gonna put it in D. Like a really high D, but D. Like it's either a really high D or a really low C. But the thing is that I've already said like C is like the meh tier. I don't feel meh about it. I feel angry. All right, that was way too much time spent on the game. Let's see what's next. All right, Stadium 2. This one is kind of weird to rank, considering we didn't play any of the actual, like, what would you consider, like, I guess the core content of the game. But, I don't know. I've played this game off stream a fuckload. I've been playing this game since it was new. I fucking love this game. It's not great, but I love it. The gimmick of Pokemon Stadium 1 is that it was like, you could see these models in 3D now. But I think the overall aesthetic of both Stadium 1 and 2 still holds up, and like, the minigames are fun. It has a personality. The minigames are a draw nowadays. I still like, I was one of those kids where people would be like, come over and play the minigames, I gotta play the minigames. And I was like, can we do a 4-player free battle? Can we do at least one battle, at least one? We don't like have to, and they're like, fine, Aiden, we'll do one. Do a battle. Like, I still like just doing like rental battles. Like, not even with like Game Boy Color Pokemon, just like with free Pokemon. But like, yeah, like, most people aren't gonna want to do that with me for obvious reasons. We have Pokemon Showdown for that shit. You can make any team you want from like any gen. Probably 9 now. I haven't looked, but probably 9 even has a thing you can do in Showdown now. Actually, I'm almost certain it does. But in this case, with Stadium 2, like, I don't know. I think overall it's just a really cool game. The minigames are definitely a cool part. I think the quiz is cute. I don't know. It's like, it's weird because like Pokemon Stadium 1 is such a gimmick game, and this one is kind of just a sequel of that. Should have had Gen 1 like day 1 or something. Jesus fucking Christ. I've been kind of curious about that actually, because I don't know if I haven't talked about this recently. I'm gonna do a thing in the future with Pokemon Showdown. I'm gonna do a stream where the different Pokemon playthroughs I've done, the protagonists of all those playthroughs are going to fight each other with the teams they ended the playthrough with. In Pokemon Showdown. We'll see how that goes. But then I played Violet, and I was like, I'm gonna add them to the chart I made, but like, can I even do that? But I think the problem is that a lot of them are like randomizer, like Pokemon teams. So I'm like, I don't even know if it'll let me do those teams, because sometimes Showdown just yells at you. I've been doing it with Gen 7 Hackmon tier, because that just lets you do whatever the fuck. As long as you didn't change the Pokemon's types, you can do whatever the fuck in Hackmons. But I don't think they ever made a Gen 8 Hackmon. So for Gen 9, like, I don't think they're gonna make Gen 9 Hackmons. Maybe they will, I don't know. Anyway, Pokemon Stadium 2, I'm gonna put Pokemon Stadium 2 in B. Not because I don't love it, because I do, but the single player experience is very hit or miss, because you do a bunch of just battles, which are already RNG enough on their own because it's Pokemon. But, like, also, they can be frustrating as fuck, especially if you're not using OP Pokemon from your Game Boy cartridge. So I'm gonna put it in B, but, like, with love. I'm gonna put it in B and give it a little smooch before it goes to bed. Alright. Everyone's favorite Nintendo 64 platformer. We all knew this was coming. Remember streaming first read? Oh, damn. So this is Duck Dodgers for Nintendo 64. I'm sure it needs no introduction, because everybody loved this game when they played it. Everybody, this is like cornerstone of the Nintendo 64's library, but, you know, we gotta talk about it, we gotta rank all the games we played. This was in a weird era where Warner Brothers was licensing out a fuckload of Looney Tunes video games. Which I think, the era of releasing a bunch of them, I think, stopped with GameCube-ish. And then, like, after the Wii, they pretty much just stopped making games. There's, like, a few that come up every now and again that are Looney Tunes themed, but, like, for the most part, like, they made a really shitty Wii one, and, like, I think they made a DS version of that or something. Like, and then, yeah, they don't really make Looney Tunes games very much anymore. But in this era, for some reason, they made a fuckload of it. This game was surprisingly okay. Because there was a Bugs Bunny one, kind of like this for PS1, and that was pretty good. Sheep Raider, which was like stealth this, which is better than you would think, and has a fucking rockin' jazz soundtrack. Or it's not jazz, I guess it's like drum and bass with like occasional jazz inspiration, but like most of it's just drum and bass with an organ. Anyway, so this game, I like the aesthetic. To a lot of people, this probably looks ugly as sin. I think it looks good because it looks like a Looney Tunes game. It looks like when they did the Duck Dodger specials that they did. It looks like anytime anyone goes to space or like a canyon or something. There's a lot of shit like that. The music sounds like Looney Tunes shit. It's so fucking cool. And I was surprised that, like, when we played on stream, I did it as, like, a goof, but I was like, this is, like, competent. Like, it's a short collectathon platformer. It's not as good as Banjo-Kazooie. It's not as good as Super Mario 64. You know? But, like, does it have to be fun? And I guess the answer is no. There's shit that, like the fact that this is an Arabian palace and, like, all the enemies are just Middle Eastern people is kind of fucked up. But beyond that, the game's a solid experience. If we're gonna ignore that for a second, everything else is fine. How do I feel about it? It's definitely not an S, it's definitely not an A, but it's also definitely not an F, and it's definitely not a D. Because, like, it is actually that good. And by that, I mean you would expect it to be a whopping pile of shit, but it's really not. There's definitely frustrating moments, but it's not awful. Oh, excuse me. Fuck. Because I don't feel lukewarm about it. At the same time, it's got the racist bit and a lot of frustrating shit, mechanically. I'll put it in C. That's fine. I don't feel mid about it, but at the same time, like, it's whatever. Alright, Bastion. We're getting down to the, like, later 2022 stuff now. What is Bastion? Bastion! Alright, so Bastion. I played the Super Giant games, I think in reverse chronological order? If I remember correctly. When the fuck did Transistor come out? No, I played Hades, then Transistor, then Pyre, and then Bastion. And I'm gonna fucking... explode when Hades 2 goes into early access. I definitely, out of the 4 games, I gotta say Bastion is my least favorite, but it's still a great game, an impressive piece of art, very solid experience. However, because I could talk about this all day, because I compare it to Hades, I compare it to Pyre's, you know, mechanical stuff of how you, like, upgrade things and risk versus reward of all that, like, currency management stuff. I could compare it to Transistor mechanically. me when Hades anything. Doesn't even have to be Hades 2. Me when Hades. It just, like, briefly, like, I could go on about this all day, but briefly, one of the things I like most about Transistor is that it mixes together, like, RTS elements with, like, an action game, or, like, a top-down action game, kind of like this, and is also a love story, literally. It's so fucking cool. Pyre is, like, a visual novel with NBA Jam combat, and it's very based on your decisions and your relations with other characters, which all folds into the fucking theming of the game as a whole. And it's beautiful the way it does it. Like, I'd say, like, as much as I fucking love Hades, I'd say maybe even more than Hades, Pyre is good at, like, really bringing its gimmick to a head in a way where you're like, huh, you thought this was silly? Fuck you. You thought this was silly? This is actually the best thing. I still like Hades more, but I think, like, in that regard alone, I think Pyre is, like, just as good, if not better, in that one specific regard. Bastion is kind of, like, it's very story-focused, like, top-down action, kind of, like, hack-and-slashy kind of game, which is nice. It's good for what it is, and how they tie the story into it and make you care more than you would think is interesting. But it just didn't draw me as much. Because, like, gameplay-wise overall, I guess I like the gameplay of this and, like, how it controls more than Transistor, but that's kind of the point of Transistor. Is that you're supposed to feel sluggish, you're supposed to feel slowed down, you're supposed to feel weighed down by this sentient blade. Like, that's the whole point. Whereas Bastion just doesn't... I don't feel like it's really impressive how good Bastion is for the first time out, though. Oh, absolutely! Because, like, even though technically Warner Brothers published it and funded a bit of it, and that's how they were able to make it and how it became the success it did, the actual team at Supergiant at that time, I think, was, like... It was definitely less than 10 people. I'm not exaggerating. It was, I think, either 7 or 9 people was the entire team. Gen Z did all the art, Darren Korb did all the sound design, Darren Korb also did voices for most of the characters, except Logan Cunningham is, whatever the fuck his name is. The old guy, the narrator. And the singer lady is also the voice of What's-Her-Fuck. We just played this game a few months ago. I'm like, oh, the characters are really good, the story's really good. What's anybody's name? I think Darren Korb is also the voice of the kid, and, like, literally everyone else. I don't know. Like, just overall, like, yeah, it's a great game. Like, that's the thing, is that, like, every time I talk about Bastion, I always compare it to the other Supergiant games, and that's why I think I kind of give off the impression, I think, to people that I don't like it, or that, like, I think it's mid. Bastion is a great game. It is a fucking work of art. In comparison to the rest of Supergiant games, which I revere as 3 of, like, the greatest games ever created, like, that's what I mean. Like, in comparison to those, I'm like, eh. But in comparison to, like, games like this is the cream of the crop. Like, absolutely. That said, in comparison to the other games, like, I kind of want to put it in B. I would put it in A. It's definitely not an S. Where do we put Transistor? Was that B or A? Transistor was an A. You know what? I think there's something to be said about a game that left an impact on me, even if I don't want to go replaying it. So I think if I'm gonna put Pyre in A, I feel like it's just fair to, well... I don't know. It's either an A or a B. Follow your heart? I don't... here, I'll drink more Pepsi. The artist in me, the creator in me, wants to put it in A. The I'm too tired to do anything right now, let's just go be depressed version of me wants to put it in B. So I guess by that logic, this is an A. I'm gonna listen to the positive part of my brain. Here's another classic. Here's another classic. Remember Corridor Z? Remember, hey, remember Corridor Z? Remember shitty-ass Logan? Remember that fucking asshole? Remember that fucking punk? What, you don't... Well, I'm just gonna put it in S. What do you don't... No? Fuck the running game? Oh. Oh, well, maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. For those who weren't there for Halloween, Corridor Z is a game on Steam that feels like a mobile game, where it's a running game. It's a running game like you play on, like, mobile, but it's them running towards you, and kind of like Temple Run, but you just go in different directions to either interact with, like, things to slow down the zombies. The masterpiece of Corridor Z, the masterpiece! It's like, it's whatever. Like, there are things about it that I appreciate and respect, but also, like, what's her fuck? Megan. Megan's character design is iffy to me. Like, you know, I'm not gonna go into the whole argument of, like, you know, yeah, you all have to realize that there are just women with big boobs. At the same time, I feel like... Okay, here's the thing. You have to understand the bigger picture of this game specifically. She's a cheerleader. And, like, what I think is a high school, maybe? Where you play as a high school boy, a high school girl, and a fucking military, like a soldier. And the lore and, like, the back plot of, like, why this is happening from these little notes you find from Jill is pretty much directly based on pedophilia. And I feel like if you're gonna dip into that well for your story, whether it's a video game script or a TV script or a movie script, you gotta be damn sure. And I feel it was done haphazardly. Granted, we didn't beat the game. I don't feel like either the story, the lore, nor the actual gameplay combines well enough to merit it actually, like, to merit any of it. To merit anything. Like, the gameplay mechanic and the gimmick don't work in tandem with the story, because the story basically doesn't exist. The story and the lore don't really connect very well, because the lore is just fucking fetishy garbage. It's not a good game. And the game, I'd excuse a little bit more if the gameplay was a little bare bones and a little glitchy. It was just all around a fucking mess, and then it crashed. So I'm gonna put that fucker in F. I don't think anybody's gonna be really surprised by that, honestly. Okay, legit though? Thing versus Corridor Z? Thing every time. Every time. What's next? Remember Resident Evil Revelations? You probably don't. You probably don't remember me playing Resident Evil Revelations. And I probably won't play it on stream again. Remember the Mountains of Europe? So I'm not a big fan of Resident Evil anyway, but we played this for a little bit after Corridor Z crashed. And I gotta say, I appreciate a Resident Evil game that I don't suck at, but I feel like this one is just like, it is just there. The whole thing just feels like it is just fucking there. It feels like something they could have released as, like, just lore. They could have just released this on Capcom's website and been done. Like, it doesn't... I was never given a single reason to care about anything happening at all. I don't know. Nothing about it gameplay-wise was particularly fucking awful. But, like, I don't know. There's nothing drawing me into this game. And, like, I don't get scared by horror games either. The thing with Resident Evil 4 is that it's less so that it's a good horror game, which it is a great horror game, don't get me wrong. But I think the thing that drew me to Resident Evil 4 and why I still consider it the best in the franchise, and it's the one I've played the most of, is just because, like, the gameplay is really good for the most part. You know, just a lot of the elements of that game just connect together well. Like the opposite of Corridor Z, if you will. With Revelations, I'm just like, it's just a bunch of information, and then you go shoot zombies. It's kind of the same reason I don't really like BioShock. But BioShock has, like, Resident Evil 4 and BioShock, I think, are both considered, whether the consensus on this or not is true, I don't know. But, like, or whether I'm getting over myself. Getting tongue-tied. I don't know if this is how everyone feels about it, or how most people feel about it, but I feel like the reason why so many people like Resident Evil 4 and BioShock specifically isn't because they're, like, great horror. It's because their atmospheres are, they're just throbbing. Like, they're just dripping with personality. Like, there's so much shit in them that's just like, this is its own experience. Like, shit like this will come out 10 years from now, but it will not be like this. They're remaking Resident Evil 4. It's not like that. It's not. Like, what does this game fucking have? Atmospheres you want to grasp with your brain tendrils. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. The brain tendrils. Like this, like, what do you want to get out of this? You're at a brown beach. You got that dude. I don't like. Why? I'm gonna put it in C because, like, gameplay-wise, it's whatever. The story was boring as fuck. I didn't really care about any of the characters other than the one girl that follows Chris around. Bloodborne has an atmosphere I can drink. I totally get what you mean. I need to play Bloodborne again. It's been so fucking long. I'd love to give Bloodborne an actual, like, chance. Alright. I'm going to try this next game. I'm not even gonna ham this up. I'm going to just honestly talk about how I feel about this game. Some of it you may think is ironic. Some of you might think it's a joke. I need to stress, if only for this game. Like, I've been pretty serious up to this point. I'm not fucking... I'm being serious. Like, I'm not trolling. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This is one of my favorite games that I own on GameCube. This is one of my favorite games that I own on GameCube. It is a shit game. It is unbalanced. It's a fucking technical mess. It was probably given a budget of like $4,000 and made by like 20 people that were given a fucking like 2-month development cycle. That said, I've told this story before on stream. One day, my friend and I got together. My friend had a birthday party, I think it was a birthday party. And he got a bunch of us together. It was mostly just kids that lived on his block. They're mostly they were like kind of jockey, but they were the kind of jocks that like don't care that they're jocks, if that makes sense. Like, they don't see it as a status symbol. They just like playing sports. And because they like playing sports for school, they kind of got lumped in with a bunch of problematic shitheads. So they forced me to play football for a little bit in the backyard. And we all just did other shit. I think we swam for a bit in the pool. My friend had a pool in his backyard. And then we just went in and played video games. We shot, like, stupid videos together and stuff. And then we're like, let's play video games before we all go to bed. Let's play way too many video games. Drink a bunch of soda, eat a bunch of snacks, play a bunch of video games. We had my friend's Xbox. This was back when, like, Halo 2 was still, like, a new game. We're like kids. We're like... I don't even think I was in middle school yet. Well, no, because I met him in middle school. So we were, like, probably, like, 12 at the oldest. We were probably like 13 at the oldest. I think a lot of us were like 12 and 13. He ran to Mario Party 6. I think we played a round or two of that. And, like, we had Halo 2, we had Halo 1, we had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, whatever the fuck on Xbox. We had another Tony Hawk game, I think, on 64. We had this car game. We had all kinds of shit. I don't feel like listening to the song. Sure. I brought over my GameCube games, and I brought over Digimon Rumble Arena 2. And he was like, okay. That's a thing. And another kid saw it, and I was like, we can play this? I brought all my stuff, and they were like, why the fuck do you have Digimon Rumble Arena 2? All the other kids were like, what the fuck? This is so stupid. I was like, it's fun. They were like, put it in. Put in that stupid fucking game. We played it for like 3 hours. Straight. A bunch of fucking jocks had never experienced anything other than like Halo, Call of Duty, and Madden. So this piece of shit you see on screen before you was like a whole new experience. And they knew what Digimon was. Everybody wanted to act like they were above it. Everybody would be like, oh, Pokemon's better. I'm like, yeah, Pokemon is better. But you can also play Digimon. You can have both. Isn't that amazing? You can just like both franchises. That's fine. You can say it has faults and then still play it. And they were like, LOL, I'm 13. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Let's play this video game. I had to back off of Vmon so other people could play as Vmon if they wanted to, because I only play as Vmon. But, like, we had a great fucking time. That's the kind of experience I still have with this game. It's just, like, maybe there is the novelty of, like, you'd expect it to be complete shit. But, like, here's the thing. I think if this game were given a way bigger budget and, like, a year or two more development time, I think it actually would have been, like, a really, like, actually, like, I'm not joking, like, an actually solid, like, brawler. I think this would have been one of the best Smash clones to ever exist. However, since most Smash clones are fucking terrible, or at least, like, mid, I think this is still one of the best Smash clones. It's not Rivals of Aether, but, like, it's fun. And part of it's the fact that it's broken is what's more fun about it. I think there can be games that are so, like, shockingly, like, stupid, but also have charm and, like, cool things about them that they can still be good again all over again, even though they're, like, on a technical 2008 game reviewer level bad. And I think this is, like, a prime example of that game. It has no reason to be such, but it is. If this were an objective, like, how do I feel about this game overall on its own merits and would I recommend it to people, I'd probably put it in C. I'm putting that bitch in A. It's one of my favorite games I own on GameCube, but, like, I feel weird playing it in S. So that was my thesis on, Digimon Rumble Arena 2 and why it's a magical game. Why it's wonderful. The fuck is Lesbian Keep? Here it is. Excuse you. Alright, so here's Lesbian Keep. The Sims 4. We haven't played Lesbian Keep in a while. We should boot that back up again soon. Here's Lesbian Keep. Maybe we'll do that after I'm done with this. Play Lesbian Keep for a little bit. Lesbian Keep. Sorry, The Sims 4. I didn't grow up with too much Sims shit. I had Sim City, I had Sim Ant, I think. I had, like, Theme Hospital, I had a bunch of weird shit. I played a little bit of, like, Sims 2 on people's PCs when I, like, go over to their places and stuff. I don't know. Sims is supposed to be this chill experience, but, like, the management of everything stresses me out. I think I'm missing the, like, core point of what these games are supposed to be. But again, I've been saying, like, if I played a game for an hour, I think if anybody's played a game for an hour with very few exceptions, you've probably drank in enough of the game to, like, form your own opinion. I think. I don't feel super strongly about it. I feel like with The Sims 4, what you see is kind of what you get. If that makes sense. Like, there are ways to make it different and more complicated than this. I understand that, at least on paper. However, in its core form of how it's designed to be played. Like, I want to love it, but it just stresses me out. I'm gonna put it in, like, C, but we'll probably play it again sometime this year, and maybe after the fact, I will rank it up higher. Again, I need to stress this isn't objectively like I think everybody is obsessed with this middling fucking game. I think I overall understand the appeal of it, but it's not really kicking for me yet. And I'm afraid it won't. But I think a lot of the things I do enjoy about it are also just, like, watered down by, like, how much it stresses me out. And yet, I still think about playing it a lot. I still want to play it, so... Remember Specter of Torment? Remember when I played this game twice? And we'll probably play it again this year. So this is one of my favorite games of all time. Shovel Knight, overall, Shovel Knight's Treasure Trove is fucking wonderful. It's such a good, I don't know. This game in particular is definitely the easiest of the four, I think. But it's, like, so satisfying to pick up and play. And, like, get used to and just be this fucking, like, badass. The story is, like, way better than it needs to be for what it is. And, like, it hits me every time. Every time I think, like, oh, well, just whatever. Like, hey, it was it. Oh, it was it. I don't know. This is more of a reassess, and I don't, honestly, I think this kind of, from now on, I think this is going to fall into the category of Hades as S tier, and just, like, I'm never going to put it lower than that. It's always going to be S tier. This is always going to be one of my favorite games of all time. This is, like, maybe top 10, is Specter of Torment. It's so fucking good. Everything about it rules. Visuals, the stuff they made in the soundtrack that, like, is permutations of stuff, chord progressions and keys and stuff, and the melodies from the Shovel Knight soundtrack. It's so fucking good. What a transition song. What am I talking about next? I just looked at it. Klonoa. Yeah, let's talk about Klonoa Door to Phantomile. Klonoa Door to Phantomile is one of my favorite games of all time. That's easily, like, top 5. I think the PS1 version of this game is one of the smartest fucking pieces of video game history. Possibly one of the smartest pieces of media ever. And I feel like a lot of people associate that with, like, harder games, if that makes sense. Like, not, like, you know, like Super Meat Boy and shit. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, like that, too. People will be, like, intricate, like, fucking level design that, like, you have to fucking keep bashing your head into to figure out. I think is usually what's considered smart game design. I think there's something to be said about something that is made to tell a story and be fairly easy. But the more you put into it, the more it gives. This gets harder. There are things that are actually pretty goddamn challenging in this game to do. We don't have to do it to fully enjoy it. But in this particular case, we are reviewing and ranking the Phantasy Reverie series version of the game. There are things that I was surprised that I thought kind of enhanced the experience a little bit. There are things about it I do enjoy. And there are things that they made to make it more accessible or harder for people who haven't played it or people who have played it 5 million times. But, like, there's things, like, animation-wise that I think they ruined. There are things that I think just work better in 2D. Or 2.5D, rather. The original game is the first of its kind. And this does look better than the Wii remake, but, like, it's still, like, you know? It just doesn't have the same feeling. And there's a lot of animation, too, that, like, works really well in cutscenes in the original. versus the Phantasy Reverie series, like, Klonoa's default pose is him smiling. So there's a lot of awkward shit where it looks like he just doesn't have a single fucking thought in his head. And that's not what the, like, scene is supposed to be depicting. It feels like Namco rushed out both the Wii remake and this one. But this one, I think, built off a lot of the stuff with the Wii remake. So, it's just that, but better. It's just that, but good. If you're going to play this game for the first time, you can have easy access to both. I would recommend playing the original version. Way more than this version. But I was surprised that this is still a version I can recommend. I really, honestly, like, did not expect that. I kind of expected it to suck a little bit. And there are things that definitely frustrated the shit out of me about it. But it's less that it was terrible and more just like it didn't do service to the original. But like nothing ever will. So I'm still gonna put an A. Just the original. Whenever I get to streaming the original, that goes an S. Like I don't need to talk about it. Speaking. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Lunatea's Veil. Let's talk about Lunatea's Veil. Where the fuck is that shit at? We're almost done with the list. Copy dopamine. Klonoa 2 Lunatea's Veil. So I played a little bit of this on the original PS2 way back in the day. I had a couple of friends that they just happened to have it on PS2, and they were like, "Oh, you like Klonoa?" Like they didn't know like barely anything about the original. They never played Dork Phantomile. I keep calling it the original. It's not the original. The original is Moonlight Museum. But like Lunatea's Veil, I didn't know what to expect. I expected to kind of sort of like it, but I don't know. I already went on a big rant on stream about how like this game was really good, but like Namco from here took a huge nosedive and just ruined the series. But I'm not gonna go into that here. We're just gonna talk about the game itself. It doesn't seem like they ruined a whole lot in Lunatea's Veil version. Maybe they did, and there's stuff I don't know about. I feel like there's less model bullshit. Like, when Lolo's supposed to be crying, she's crying. When she's supposed to be happy, she's happy. When Klonoa's, you know, emotive, he's emotive. I don't know how much of that they necessarily, like, fucked up. Because I didn't play that much of the original PS2 version of this. But, like, this looks lovely. Like, I think visually this looks better than the Dork Phantomile Phantasy Reverie version. The story's not as good as Dork Phantomile by any stretch of imagination, but it's fun. It's decent. It's fun to watch occur. The soundtrack is really fucking good. And getting the secrets and stuff, I think they did, honestly, a little better than Dork Phantomile even. And I fucking love Dork Phantomile, because also you don't need to beat everything to get to the ending, whereas Dork Phantomile kind of sort of leaves you on a cliffhanger unless you've saved all the Phantomilions. So yeah, Lunatea's Veil is very good. I liked it more than I thought I would. And I might go back and do some of the like post-game shit on streaming someday, because I've not been playing enough Phantasy Reverie, and that needs to change. All in all, I know this is gonna sound stupid, especially when people haven't played it, because they're 2.5D, like, basically collectathon platformers with puzzle elements for children. How the story is depicted in Dork Phantomile is one of my favorite things about that game. And Lunatea's Veil does not touch that. So, I'm gonna put it in B. I don't feel as strongly about it as I do Dork Phantomile, but like, it's still a solid fucking experience, and if you have the extra money and you want to try these games out for yourself, you can do far, far worse than Phantasy Reverie. I would say, just like, if this is your first time playing Dork Phantomile, play it and then look up the differences, like, look up the cutscenes on PS1 and shit, because, like, you'll see where I'm coming from. Another more? Alright. Shouldn't it be like Reignited? No. 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 No! Pokemon is too silly. Let's just pull it on with Sat, fuck it. We'll have one person talking, we'll have 3 PNGs on screen bobbing around. While there's only one person actually talking. So anybody who just happens to like step upon the stream and doesn't follow me is like, what is this puppet show of madness? What is this fucking shit? Serious Vampire Survivors eventually, when the footage comes up. Sat got me this game. Just for no reason. Like, it wasn't my birthday or anything. It wasn't even, like, Christmas time. He was just like, I need you to also experience Vampire Survivors so badly that I'm just going to fucking purchase it for you. So, thanks, buddy. I haven't played as much as I'd want to, but I do like it. I appreciate it for what it is. It is basically just dopamine fuel. It really is, after a certain point. But there is a challenge to it, especially in fucking Dairy Plant. That, is, like, good to see with a game like this. Because at a certain point in your runs, the game kind of plays itself a little bit, but getting there is satisfying pretty consistently. And I really like that about it. The visuals are good for what it is. A lot of the gameplay shit, it just feels like a game that everyone had fun working on. Like, it just feels like a game they wanted to throw a bunch of elements in to something, like... And, like, just to have a good time. It feels like just the kind of game they wanted to fucking make. It didn't have to take itself too seriously. And just be a silly little fucking cool-ass game. And it clearly took off and did well. But yeah, overall, my personal feelings are about it. It's fun. I'm not, like, as into it as Sad is, for sure. Because I know he fucking loves Vampire Survivors. But... I don't feel strongly about it. It's a B, I think, for me. Because I don't, like, fucking love it. But, like, you know, I've streamed it a few times now, and I'll probably stream it again soon. It's a fun game. I like it. I definitely don't feel lukewarm about it, but... I'm also not, like... I didn't really get addicted to it as much as everyone else did. Because I know a lot of my friends and stuff played it, and I'm like... they were like, oh my god, it's just constant dopamine, I need it. And I'm like, I think my depression just beats this game out. Let's go to let's go to Pokemon now. Here we go. Here's my public apology. This is Pokemon Violet. You may or may not have heard of it. It's the fucking really glitchy one. It's the one that Sonic Frontiers fans hate. Apparently. That was like a fight on the internet for a little bit there. For like a week. I was just thinking about this today. It's weird. So... out of the mainline RPGs of Pokemon, including the remakes, I've, there's a little weed cat that puts it in S tier. I've played 11 of the mainline games. I forgot that Terra Psyduck is fucking terrifying. Terra Raid with Psyduck is fucking scary. Anyway, it turns out I played 11 of them, and this is the fulcrum game for me, it turned out to be. If my Pokemon opinions and rankings are a seesaw, I don't remember the exact order, but like, SoulSilver, White, Original Silver, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, and Omega Ruby are like the positive side, where I feel the most positive about them and have the most positive experience and would recommend them the most to people. And then, like, Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow, Fire, Leaf, Green, Ultra Sun, Diamond, and X and Y are, like, at the bottom one. And then the rest of them are ones I haven't played yet, and a bunch of spin-offs and stuff. But, like, Pokemon Violet is, like, right in the middle, apparently, which I found interesting. Maybe that's a sign of narcissism. Maybe I'm onto something bigger. I don't know. But yeah, it, like, this game, the thing is, like, for all its technical faults, which it has many, it's what they wanted to do with it. Like, I talked about this when I streamed it too, I think. The thing you have to realize, and I think a lot of people forget it sometimes, is that Pokemon was a cultural phenomenon, and Nintendo has been expounding upon that for so long, but Nintendo's inner staff doesn't make these games. I truly believe that Creatures Inc. and Game Freak are two of the best game development studios that have ever existed. I truly believe that. I think they are some of the best in the fucking business. Best in the fucking industry. But, like, Crunch and a bunch of other shit, it just doesn't make you, it just doesn't make a good game. It can, but it's more of the developers struggling with working through that under dire circumstances and under unfair expectations from a corporation that has no idea what the fuck they're playing with. The game devs do. So given the circumstances, like, I think calling this game great isn't stupid. I think, because that's the thing, people are like, oh, it's so fucking shitty, I would talk about it more highly and recommend it to more people if it wasn't so glitchy. Ocarina of Time is still considered, like, one of the quintessential, like, perfect Zelda games, and it's fucking not. Like, that game's a fucking mess. But, like, do I tell people they're stupid for liking it? Fuck no. I get why people like Ocarina. I don't, but I understand why people like it. With this game, there's so much charm and characters, and, like, I think overall, it seems to me that at least on a surface level, at least, like, in the vague sense of, like, this is a Pokemon game that is set in, like, an adventurous, like, parallel Spain. Like, this is what it is, and you go explore in an open world, find a bunch of shit, you can put it together, you can feed your Pokemon fucking sandwiches, and there's some weird goddamn sci-fi story that doesn't make sense underneath it all. I think in that regard, they did a fucking excellent job. It's exquisite. And I think with an extra year of development time, this would have been one of the best Pokemon games, like, ever created. And I fear they'll never get it right this closely ever again, just because of how much they rushed this game out. Given the circumstances, this game is kind of phenomenal. There are problems with it, though. The fact that there's, like, no search engine in the Pokédex is kind of a bigger deal than you'd expect when you actually go to, like, play it. Just moving around sometimes is, like, pretty fucking broken. There's fail-safes against it. That's the other thing, too, that I noticed about this game, though, is that, like, there are fail-safes, like, they still did the bare minimum of, like, making sure you can still play the game, more or less. Like, other than crashes, that's pretty much, like, I don't know. It's kind of like what I said about Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Like, is it the perfect game? No, but it's fun as fuck, and it's very clear that the development team that worked on this game cared. They just probably weren't given the best circumstances, budget, and time frame to make the game perfect. Because, like, with Digimon Rumble Arena 2, you gotta think, like, oh, it's a shitty Digimon game. That game's roster on the character select screen before you unlock the 8 secret characters is still, like, 14 characters, which doesn't seem like much, but A, it's a Smash clone before Brawl came out, and B, they digivolve into 3 different forms. There are 2 forms you can digivolve into. So each character, except for, like, 5 of the secret ones, are 3 separate character models, and 3 separate animations, and, like, 3 different stacks of stats, and all these different moves, and different particle effects, and action moves, and fucking voice clips you gotta program in, and it's insane. This has the same feeling to me, where I think because it's Pokemon, there are a lot of things here that people take for granted because they expect something higher, not considering the fact that this has kind of always been the problem. I think one of the only games where Nintendo wasn't fucking stuffing their assholes was probably, like, Emerald, maybe? Like, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald? Like, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, the reason it's as big and bombastic as it was because they literally thought that was gonna be it. They didn't think they were going to either do one or were capable of doing, or Nintendo was gonna let them do another fucking game like that. So the fact that Ruby came out at all was like, what the fuck? But like, back then, like, it wasn't that much better. We just don't hear about it as much. 90s Nintendo still wasn't that great. Like, it still kinda sucked as a corporation. It's a corporation! It's still a big fucking video game company. Be that as it may, I think Violet is a great game. And I really enjoyed it, and that's kind of what this tier list is about, is not trying to convince you that this is a perfect game, or even a really, really good one. I just think these are some of the best characters in the fucking franchise. I guess, like, criticisms, I don't know, the environments can get kind of boring, even though there's a lot of different places to look into, like, they just kind of look like 5 different places with different landmarks. Even though the landmarks, for the most part, a lot of them are, well, like, okay, not for the most part. Some of them, like, aren't as, like, oh, I know where I am, like, as others, but, like, I get what it's trying to go for, that makes sense. I was gonna say difficulty curve, but now that I think about it, that's not even true. I think the difficulty curve is pretty solid, too. And I've been playing some of the post-game shit. If you don't look up how to do everything, it has a kind of adventurous air to it, too, that, like, you kind of just have to discover shit, which makes sense with the theming of this game overall, which, in my opinion, they haven't really done in a long time. Like, Pokemon Black and White tried at, like, this theme of, like, cockfighting and, like, the morality of it all, and I don't think it worked as well as they wanted it to. Diamond, like, didn't have a fucking theme. Like, I know they're like, oh, it's because it's time and space and the time you spent. It's like, no. This game is about kaiju. It's stupid. X and Y's story just sucked. Sevens had, like, really good characters. And that was one of the main things that strung that experience along. And as many issues that Violet has, although, like, literally sometimes it just crashes, like, and there's, like, stuttering and stuff, like, it's not an action game. Pokemon's story falls apart when it tries to tackle big issues. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though, is that, like, there's still something to be said about, like, Blue is actually, like, a good character. And how much they did with, like, Blue as a character, and Silver as a character, and in my opinion, May/Brendan as a character, like, and Wally as a character, those 4 characters are actually, like, really good characters. They're just in a Monster Collection game for babies. So, I think there's something to be said, and it's part of why I like game writing so much as a topic, is because there are things you just wouldn't do on TV. That you can do in a video game, and it doesn't have to be seen as, like, a limitation. It's a new avenue for storytelling. It's just that back then, these were the only companies that could do it because game dev, you know, the resources for it were a lot more intensive than they are today. Now you can just, you know, the Unreal Engine or whatever is just, you can just do that now. Like, I could just go make a game right now. It'd be shitty, but you could do it. You know? So, like, story-wise, the fact that this one's good at all, I think is very impressive, and I would consider, like, Nemona, in my opinion, is, like, one of the best rivals. I don't think she's better than, like, May and Blue and Silver and all this shit. I still haven't played Sword and Shield. I've looked up a lot of the stuff on my own, and Sats told me some shit about it. If Waffles told me you've told me some shit about it. Aaron told me some shit about it, because I think he really likes Sword and Shield. But, like, I don't know. I'm not curious enough to spend money on it right now to, like, try it for myself. Plus, I don't have Nintendo Online, so I'm like, I don't have Switch Online, so I'm like, ugh. But, like, I don't know. I think overall there's an experience to be had with this game that is so fucking unique in comparison to the rest of the mainline Pokemon games. And I think that alone, like, justifies me putting it in, like, A tier. Because the RPG elements of it are fucking solid. It's still a role-playing game. I wrote up a big thing to realize a huge spoiler. I don't know. You can tell me about it later if you want. I don't think I care about the spoiler. I just don't know if I want the spoiler on stream. I don't know if I want spoiler for a game we're not even like... That's not even like the main topic of the video to be the thing of the stream. Otherwise, I don't really care about that being spoiled for me personally. I think I already like... Nope. Not gonna... Nope! But yeah, that's enough of Pokemon Violet. That's enough about Pokemon Violet. Because, like, okay, I guess what I was going to say, though, to finish off this point with the Pokemon franchise as a whole and, like, its rivals and shit, is, like, I know some of the story of, like, Sword and Shield's rivals, because I know it has a few. And, like, they did unique things with that, but, like, I feel like at the end of the day, it still kind of just boils down to, like, a very similar story of just, like, going to go and be the best, and friendship is cool. And it's a little more complicated than that Sword and Shield, but I think it kind of does the same thing. Scarlet and Violet is about finding something inside of yourself while looking for things outward at the same time. It's about exploration. It's about adventure. Like, the first 3 Pokemon gens weren't really about that. They were, but they weren't. It wasn't like the central focus. A lot of it was like 3 was, I guess 3 was kind of about that. 3 was more about exploration. Violet was more about, like, introspection. 1 and 2 were more about, like, I don't know, friendship or some shit. And then Diamond was about nothing. And then they realized they can still make millions and millions of dollars selling an RPG with a story about nothing. And just continue to do that for a long time. So I was very impressed with Violet's story. Maybe Sword and Shield's story is better than that. I'm not giving it the credit that it deserves, but that's how I feel about Pokemon and its story. And I'm not even saying the story of Violet's, like, perfect. It's not. It's just, like, I think that the characters are so fucking strong in it that it makes up for the shortcomings of everything else. Like, there's not a story-focused Pokemon other than this one that works that well. What the fuck is it? What do I do? What do I put you people through? What the fuck is this? Oh my god. Yeah, fuck it.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! God! What's this shitty fucking game? It's never gonna load it. It's never gonna load it. It's never gonna load it, though, is the thing. It's never gonna load it! I don't know what the fuck its deal is today. I did drop frames for a little. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just YouTube? It has to be my internet. Anyway, Sonic Adventure 2. I know it's weird to rank this, considering the only times I've ever streamed it have been multi-world randomizers. But I've been playing this game since I was like a kid. It's the reason it's one of the reasons I wanted a GameCube, was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. So, I'm gonna talk about the game as a whole anyway, even though, in terms of what we're doing here today, it kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It is a game we stream, though, so I'm gonna talk about it. This is kind of like Digimon Untitled 2 in the sense of it's a fucking mess, but I love it. And it's part of the reason I really like playing the multi-world of it, because finding checks for other people in mundane shit like this is still fun to me. Because if the treasure hunting mechanic wasn't so fucking shit, hot take, Knuckles and Rouge don't feel bad to control. I think they would be fun to play as in a more action-based setting that isn't whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. The Tales and Eggman stages kind of suck. They're not the worst, but they're pretty bad. The Sonic and Shadow stages are still, like, fun. Controlling those two characters is still really fucking fun. The story is campy and stinky and stupid. Hi, Kimmy. How's it going? How's it going, bub? Getting the upgrades was badass at the time. That was a really cool thing. We're not ranking it based on how I felt about it in 1 or whenever the fuck I played it for the first time. I'm talking about today. I don't know. I love the fucking game. I think most of it is the Sonic & Shadow gameplay. But I think part of the reason I like running it multi-world so much is that I am getting better at this game that I've been playing since I was a fucking child. And that's a very weird experience to me, because I figured I'd just like be stuck in one place. Could not let a visit from the migraine fairy. Oh, I'm sorry. I know that fucking sucks. I get migraines so fucking bad sometimes that like it makes me nauseous. But yeah, overall too, like I think a lot of my problems with like a lot of Sonic games that are 3D ones that suck, like most of them, is like Sonic 06, for example, doesn't really have that cool of like an aesthetic. I'm not gonna say it has no personality, because it definitely does, but like it doesn't make up for all the bullshit of that game. Like it looks clean, but it looks like Unreal Engine assets, you know what I mean? The full tilt pukey kind? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Have a little, I don't fucking know. I can't help you digitally. It's sad. But yeah, Sonic Adventure 2, it's... Like, look at this. Like, this is so fucking dumb that there's a big chamber somewhere that just has, like, a scorpion. Right? Like, you see where I'm coming from? Like, this is stupid. This is delightfully stupid. A PTO day is a treat. Okay, well, see, now I'm jealous. I went to my job and they let us off early because they didn't have fucking shit to do. I slept till noon the other day as well. It's one of those time periods in the world, in American history, in world history, where I'm like, can we all just admit that, like, we're all fucking... If everyone just decides one day, can we just collectively take a day off? Can we all just take a day where we just stay inside or, like, go out into a fucking field together somewhere with masks on, or with other vaccinated groups of people that we trust? Like, can we all just take a collective fucking break and then see what that does for the world? Let's all just like take a moment and see how that kind of works out. Can we just do that? Sonic Adventure 2 is an A because I know it's a broken mess, so I'm not gonna put it in S tier. But like, also like, I can't shake my love for this game, even though I know it's stupid. Oh god. Well, that leads us to the last game that we're talking about. Billy Asher and the Giant Egg. The grand finale of this fucking thing we're doing. Egg! What do I even say here? I really like this game. I was really excited about it when it came out, because I started realizing what a development studio was, and how it was separate from a publisher, and what that meant, because I was a child. And the reason I got a GameCube, there were multiple reasons I wanted a GameCube, but there was one main reason I needed a GameCube when my parents agreed to get it for my birthday that year. It wasn't Super Smash Bros. Melee. It wasn't Star Fox Assault, it wasn't Star Fox Adventures, it wasn't Super Mario Sunshine, it wasn't Soul Calibur 2, it wasn't Twilight Princess, it wasn't Wind Waker. It was Sonic Heroes. I wanted specifically a GameCube so I could play Sonic Heroes. Because I knew if I got that, I could also get Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure TX, Melee, but more importantly, Sonic Heroes. This game came out around that same time? Don't remember exactly when. I think it was... No, after. I think it was a little bit after. But it's another Sonic Team game. Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is a good reason to get a GameCube. My aunt got the one that came with, my aunt got a GameCube that came with Animal Crossing, and, like, its own... Actually, that might not have been a GameCube bundle. But, like, I think a lot of, if not all of the copies of Animal Crossing released in the States had, like, an Animal Crossing memory card. It had, like, a sticker with, like, Rover on it from Animal Crossing. And then it like, had just enough data on it to feasibly, like, do all the Animal Crossing shit on. I don't know what was up with that or why they did that, but that was cool. The curled Animal Crossing tattoo looks Animal Crossing? Nah. Nah. You still have the Rover memory card? Hell yeah. My aunt got rid of a bunch of the games that we played together when my sister, my cousins, and I were kids. My sister got Animal Crossing, which, to be fair, was way more her thing than mine. But we all, like, had that same, like, village together. Like, that town was ours. That was our little city. So, but yeah, I was like, when we started splitting the games up of, like, what games we're gonna take and what consoles, we took full consoles. I offered her money. She said no. My sister and I were divvying it up. And she got a lot of the good games, but like that one I was like, this is yours. you have Animal Crossing. Well, she took Double Dash and I'm still salty about that. Anyway, still fucking salty to this day. Anyway, Billy Hatcher, it's a fucking shit game. Its mechanics are frustrating as fuck. I just happen to be kind of sort of good at it because I played it way too much when I was a kid. Almost to completion. And we might do more post-game shit on stream someday, and I might do more of that. Because it's... I want to make the joke of like, oh, it's because I hate myself, it's because I'm a masochist. I fucking love Billy Hatcher. I love this shitty fucking game. I fully realize what makes it shit. I fully realize it's not intuitive. There's nothing about this game that is sexy to anybody. It's so fucking shit. But I love it. Just talking about it right now makes me want to pop it in and play it right now. Like, it's so bad. But I fucking love it. I love getting better at it. I love doing stupid little fucking egg tricks. I love hatching these shitty Sonic eggs and hatching literally Sonic the fucking Hedgehog out of them. I love these animal creatures. I don't know what's fucking wrong with me. But also, like, post-game, it does... Actually, post-game. The whole thing's fucking frustrating. So I'm gonna put it in B. It's not quite on par with, like, Sonic Adventure 2 in terms of, like, this is one of my favorite games on GameCube. I fucking love this game, but I know it's a piece of shit. I definitely enjoy it a lot. But it's B tier. It's B tier. But, like, high B. Like, high B, I think. So now I'm just gonna take a gander at this. We're gonna take a gander and see how I feel about it. See if this is the list. Is this the games we played in 2022 list? Am I okay with this? Melee Ultimate, Spyro Reignited, Specter of Torment in S tier. A tier, Pyre, Smash 64, SoulSilver, Bastion, Rumble Arena 2, Klonoa, Phantasy Reverie. I need to clarify. Only the Phantasy Reverie series version of Klonoa. Door to Phantomile is S tier, but we didn't play that on stream. Violet and A, Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. B for Brawl tier. Brawl, Smash 3, yes. Wandersong, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, Fall Guys, Pokemon Stadium 2. Klonoa, yeah, Klonoa will still be. Vampire Survivors and Billy Hatcher. Yeah, that tracks. Smash for Wii U is like a high C. PowerWash Simulator, Duck Dodgers, Resident Evil Revelations, and Sims 4. I almost kind of want to put Revelations in D. I don't know. Yeah, Multiversus can go in D. It can stay in D. Sunshine can stay in D, even though it's like super hot takey and angry. It's staying in D. And Corridors is definitely enough. Yeah, I feel okay with it. I think we're good. I think we're good with that one. Correct with 2 C's. Or 3 C's, in fact. Okay. How much time did that take? 2.5-ish? Almost 2.5 hours? Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Would it be in downloads? It would be in downloads. I'll move it to a folder that makes sense later. Cool. Well, we did the fuck out of that. Yep, I think I'm okay with that. Cool. Now here's the question. Do I stream a video game? Do I continue streaming? Or do I fuck off for the night and do something else? All by my lonesome? Because this is over. We did this. We're done with this. I also have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna have to go to BRB screen if we're continuing the stream. Let's do more Vampire Survivors. Let's do Vampire Survivors. I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna stop this VOD and record something else entirely after the fact, though. So if you're watching this on the YouTube later,